MMA Boxing Talk here. I wanted to put out a video talking about the lightweight division of the UFC. This past Sunday at UFC St. Louis, when the card was done, it was the post-fight show. Dana White was on the show being interviewed by Karen Bryant, and she asked him what's the scoop? What's going to happen with Conor? And what Dana White said is that Conor isn't going to be back until September. And he says if he's not back till September, that'll be almost 2 years since he hasn't defended his title since winning it. And that can't happen. Now, he didn't say he'd strip Conor, but he says it can't happen. Conor can't hold the belt until September. He's going to get stripped if he's only going to come back in September. So now today, or maybe late last night, early this morning, I'm seeing all these rumors coming out of Russia saying that Conor is getting stripped of his title, and you're going to get Tony versus Khabib for the real title in April 7th in Las Vegas. These are the rumors coming out from Russia. That Conor is getting stripped, and Tony versus Khabib for the real belt. Nothing is official, of course, but if you read between the lines, Dana said Conor is looking to come back in September. That's too long. Well, he's not going to let him hold the title until then. Therefore, he will get stripped. So now, a lot of fans, there's going to be mixed feelings about this all across the board. Personally, I have no problem with this. I hate when divisions get held up. We saw it happen at featherweight. Finally, they stripped Conor. We saw it recently at middleweight. You had Bisping, who won the belt fair and square, but he defended it against Dan Henderson and George St. Pierre. Both guys really shouldn't have been in those situations. Finally, now the division's back to normal. Well, it was until Whitaker just got injured, but you know what I mean. So I have no problem with them stripping Conor, and to be honest, Conor is above the belt at this point. He's not above the sport, he's not above MMA. I won't say that, but he is above the belt in the sense that if they strip him, it really doesn't hurt his credibility. Obviously, maybe to some hardcore fans that say, you never defended your title. Still, this is the fourth title you've held, never defended it once, and that's all true. But the fact of the matter is, Conor can get stripped of his title. Tony can fight Khabib for the real belt, and then Conor can walk in and fight the winner. And he's going to sell just as many pay-per-views whether he's coming in as the challenger or the champion in his next fight. So, and obviously, what we get out of this, and this is all speculation at this point, but I think it's going to happen. I think Dana White's comments at St. Louis is kind of the writing on the wall that, and Conor's not in a rush to come back. He just got paid $100 million. So now what's awesome about this though is the fans get something tremendous out of Conor getting stripped. We get Tony versus Khabib, a fight that was scheduled 3 times. If this fight gets scheduled for April for the title, this will be the 4th time Khabib and Tony get scheduled to fight each other. The first time, Tony Ferguson had blood in his lungs. He wasn't able to, it was fluid or blood, I can't remember what it was in his lungs. It was a freak thing that happened like a week or 2 before the fight. So that fight didn't go through. And then Khabib pulled out with an injury, I'm pretty sure, in the second fight. And in the third fight, he missed weight, which was last March. So this would be the 4th time. Now, this is a fight that has to happen, It's obviously, I would want to see Conor just keep his title and defend against Tony Ferguson soon. That would be great, Unify the titles. That's what really should be happening. But if Conor's going to get stripped, and that's the reality, then Tony and Khabib is an amazing fight that I've wanted to see. I was so bummed out when it didn't go through last March. That was really disappointing. Um, it's one of the greatest matchups in UFC history. Khabib versus Tony. It's by far, in my opinion, I've said this all throughout my prediction videos on all those other fights that were supposed to happen, that Tony and Khabib is the best matchup the UFC has to offer at this time, at this moment. When you look at the roster, Khabib versus Tony, in my opinion, is the most interesting matchup because so many things can happen. Both guys are great, great grapplers. Obviously, Khabib it's going to more look like a grappler versus striker. That's how they're going to kind of sell it. But Tony is way more than just a striker. I mean, his submission game is fierce and dynamic and awkward and slippery and funky. And Khabib is just this bear in there that just manhandles people and just wears them down and drags them into deep waters and drowns them. You know, both guys, it's been a or Khabib's undefeated, okay, so that's very impressive, at lightweight especially. Tony's on a 10-fight win streak. He's the interim champion at the moment. Both guys, their resumes are pretty similar. You got Tony having wins over RDA, Kevin Lee, and of course Edson Barboza. And Khabib has wins over RDA, Edson Barboza, Michael Johnson. So, I would say both guys each have 3 really, really impressive wins on their resume. That's a fight that needs to happen. So I have no problem with the UFC stripping Conor McGregor whatsoever. I have no problem with that. It's been way over a year since he defended it, or since he won the title. It's been way over a year, so strip him. Keep the ball rolling, keep the ball moving. Conor, at that point, will have the option. He won't have any pressure to fight Tony or Khabib. Of course, for his legacy, he'll have to fight the winner. But I could see him maybe fighting Nate Diaz in the time being. He comes back in September, fights Nate Diaz, and then perhaps fights Tony or Khabib, whoever wins, maybe after that. But we'll see what happens. But it's really looking like Conor's going to get stripped, and I think it'll happen very soon. The rumors are coming out, and Dana White's comments at St. Louis just add up to him getting stripped. He's not ready to fight until September. That's too long. We can't have that. We can't let that happen. Read between the lines. He's going to get stripped. Khabib versus Tony, April. That's the rumor. That's it for this one. If you liked the video, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at MMABoxingTalk1. Peace.